Let's get started then, and we begin with the news that schools across England are opening again today to all pupils after the latest lockdown. And many parents are desperate for this next step. Not only will it bring a better balance between work and life, home and home learning, but it should also lead to an improvement in mental well-being. So the reopening of schools will also have a significant impact on the economy. According to UK government figures, around 53% of parents say they had a reduced ability to work as a result of the schools being closed. In another piece of research published today by the government, this is its backed Behavioural Insights team and jobs website Indeed, shows that offering flexible working explicitly in job ads would increase applications by some 30%. So is the end of lockdown also an opportunity to reset the way we work? Well, let's discuss this with Anne Franker, Chief Executive of the Chartered Management Institute. Good morning to you. Now, some parents may already be up, getting packed lunches made and all sorts to get their kids back to school. But this is a significant step forward, isn't it? And what does it mean for working parents? I mean, I've seen many studies on this, that when you put the word flexible in a job application, you get many more people wanting to apply. You say there's an opportunity here. What do employers need to do? And women have really seen the benefit of working from home for many reasons, whether they have children or not. And employers are taking that into account, aren't they? And they're also seeing this as a way to save, not having so much office space, for example. It's just simple things like that. We're going to talk about International Women's Day and what can be done to help women in the workplace in more detail later. But let's quickly show you financial markets in Asia today, how the brand new trading week has begun. And as you can see, we have got declines across the board, actually. Japan down by 0.6%. It's quite interesting, actually. You would think that the US stimulus bill being passed would be music to the ears of markets, but there is concern back in markets now that there could be a sharp increase in inflation, which is partly stoked by an increase in oil prices. We'll talk about that in a moment, because the price of oil has gone up quite significantly. But for markets today, share markets, a lot on the minds of investors, not least what might happen in the future with some very inflated stocks, particularly in technology. So people taking money off the table today. So let's talk about oil, because Brent crude futures for May climbing above $70 for the first time since the pandemic began. US crude almost hitting its highest level for 2 years, following reports of attacks on Saudi Arabian oil facilities. Marika Oy is in our Asia Business Hub for us this week and has got the details. Marika, what's been going on? Bring you some other business stories. Deliveroo. Now let's talk some more about what happened in the United States over the weekend, where President Biden has hailed a Senate vote to approve its COVID recovery plan as a giant step towards providing desperately needing help for American families. The bill's worth nearly $2 trillion and it will go back to the House of Representatives for approval within days. The president has called the plan historic. Fiona Cincotta is from City Index, joins me now. Morning, Fiona, nice to see you. So everybody's been waiting for this to be passed. Eventually, it looks like we'll get there this week. Talk us through the implications. Stimulus bill. Stay with us here on BBC News, still to come. This is BBC News. Let's remind you of the top stories. The Duke. Today, then, is International Women's Day, celebrating the achievements of women worldwide. It also marks a call to action for accelerating gender equality in the workplace. In a moment, we'll be looking at what more can be done. First, though, let's hear from some women who've been successfully making inroads into industries traditionally dominated by men. So there are many success stories. Women still remain, though, significantly outnumbered when we look at those within management across many industries. Before the pandemic, women held just 38% of managerial roles. Since then, things have got tougher, with 3 groups facing particular challenges: mums, senior level women and Black women. Well, let's talk to Melanie Usebe, who is co-founder of the Black British Business Awards and has been on this programme several times. Lovely to see you again, Melanie. So first of all, International Women's Day. How important is today? Many sort of argue do we still need to have an International Women's Day? Your perspective on why this day is important. Throughout my entire career, which is, I don't want to reveal how long that is, but it's quite long. What needs to be done to really accelerate this? Debate about quotas, because in some countries around the world, for example in Finland, in Norway, we've seen great success in terms of women being represented at senior levels in organisations. Are you for quotas, or do you think that's counterproductive? Something I hear often is how important mentoring is. From your perspective as a black woman, how important is that? Awards. Now, the trouble facing Greensill Capital has been causing tremors around the world. This is a fund crunch at the firm, which specialises in helping companies spread out the time they have to pay their suppliers. Risks spilling over to some of its high-profile borrowers. So Greensill's customers include Sanjeev Gupta's Liberty Group, popularly dubbed the saviour of the steel in the UK. Unions fear thousands of jobs could be at risk. So what happens now? Well, let's talk to Justin Urquhart-Stewart, a very familiar face on this programme, co-founder of Seven Investment Management. Good morning, Justin. So nice to see you. So many watching this right now are saying, who is Greensill Capital? Never heard of them. Why should we care? Just put it in perspective for us. When you explain it like that, Justin, we ask, why is this happening now when there was a huge, navel-gazing time with regulators, with everyone saying we can't have these structures because clearly they don't work? Until it falls into administration, what will be the consequences of that? From Seven Investment Management. Who knew? Well, you do now. Thank you so much for your company. Have a great day. If you're watching us on BBC One, you'll join us. You'll join the breakfast team in around 5 minutes' time. If you're watching on BBC World News, I'll be back. And of course, we'll have more details on that interview with Oprah Winfrey of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Thanks for your company.